What's up, guys? I'm Ron Burgundy. Welcome back to episode 219 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. And I wanted to give a special shout out to Dan Andrews for the 2-year anniversary of his channel membership. So YouTube doesn't really talk about it like nearly enough, but next to the subscribe button, there's a join button and you can get a membership to a channel. It's pretty much like, a way to give back to your creators. So 2 years to Dan Andrews. Congrats, man. But on this episode of RTP this week, we got some killer setups. If you see anything you like, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. But let's start it off. Okay, so first up we have S3LQ with a very, let's call this like a moody setup. It's got some darkness to it overall, lots of contrast, but a little bit of blues to kind of cool it down a bit. So I don't know, I think moody is a good word for it. Going with the dual monitor setup with the primary and a vertical off to the left side. So for those two displays, the primary is an Acer 24-inch, a 240Hz panel with a Samsung 27-inch 144Hz as the curved vertical display. And a good job spanning the wallpaper so it evenly matches on each. So checking out the peripherals, we have a G Pro wireless mouse, and for the keyboard we have a custom here. It's an Anode 60%, got a DZ60 PCB, a brass plate inside, Gateron black ink switches that are lubed Durox stabilizers, with PBT Carabiner keycaps and a nice blue coiled cable there. So definitely a nice looking build. Definitely, like I said before, fits in with the blues going on in the setup. And for audio, his headphones are the Audio-Technica ATH M40X. Off to the right side of the desk there. And over to the PC, you can kind of see it chilling. On the right side, it's a Fantex Eclipse P400S case. We don't have too much info on the specs and not a lot of variety when it comes to the photo submission, but we have an Intel i9 9900K CPU. You can see the AIO is from Corsair, but it's their OG logo, so it's definitely a dated model. 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM and an MSI RTX 2080 Ventus V2 GPU. So unfortunately, just not a lot of other photos to show off here. We're pretty much just limited to this angle from the right side, but it is a nice setup nonetheless. You have the RGB kind of lamp underneath, keeping it nice into like a cool white so it glows and illuminates, highlights the wallpaper even more, brings out the LEDs in the PC, matches the custom keyboard build, so good job keeping everything steady. Next, we have NathanJ with the triple display setup going on, with the two ultra-wide monitors for the primary right in front of him, and that massive overhead above this setup. Digging the layout, lots of desk space, which is always good. Then at nighttime, the RGB glowing, making everything nice and colorful. So, as for those two displays, they are 34-inch curved ultrawides from Viotech, and the overhead is a 50-inch Toshiba 4K TV. Not only is there a light strip behind the desk, but behind the TV as well, to give it just more depth and separation with the color. And also, you can't really see it here, but the wallpaper with that kind of constellation, if you will, that's all animated, so it moves, looks pretty cool. Now for the gear and peripherals, lots of stuff going on here on the desktop, including the Elgato Stream Deck. You can see the HyperX Quadcast mouse, the TC Helicon Go XLR mini mixer, all things going to be great for streaming, as well as the Corsair K65 Lux RGB keyboard with the Corsair Ironclaw RGB wireless mouse. Shout out for that really nice mouse pad, by the way. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And for audio, in addition to his desktop speakers, the Logitech Z533, he has the Astro A50 wireless and the Corsair HS70 SE wireless sitting on the ST100 RGB headset stand. So lots of audio options. And now we can check out the PC. This is the Corsair Crystal 570X RGB case. Inside an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU with the Corsair H100i Pro RGB AIO. You got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB RAM on an ASUS ROG Strix B450F gaming motherboard, and an MSI RTX 2080 Ti Gaming X Trio GPU vertically mounted there, being shown off to the world with the tempered glass side panel on the case, looking real nice. Then also you can see next to the setup even more RGB, a nice display shelf also illuminating some trinkets, gaming gadgets as you can see on there. Got the gravity gun, Destiny Ghost. Love seeing stuff like this, just gaming all across the board. And even though there's no real dedicated theme or direction I could say you're really wetting, because it's just a lot of RGB everywhere, it's okay because with the desk space being so large, you have enough room for everything, and it's all, it comes together really nicely. Next, we have Cathy, and you guys know I love this with the plants. I'm digging the spanned wallpaper with the moon. Adds some nice contrast, lots of black and white as well, so that fits in perfectly. But yeah, the dash of green with the otherwise monochrome setup looks really nice. And you guys know I like me some stacked monitors. So for the two displays, the primary is a 27-inch Dell Ultra Sharp, 1440p, 144 Hz, gonna be great for gaming, with the overhead being a Dell 27-inch display. And also the bezels on both of these monitors are extremely thin and minimal, so they do line up really nicely. Now, as for the peripherals, you have the Corsair Gaming K70 RGB low profile keyboard, and it doesn't appear to be on because the whole setup, I guess, is turned off, with the Roccat Ninth mouse on the Corsair MM800 RGB Polaris mousepad, again, it's all turned off, with the Corsair Void Pro wireless headset and the Corsair ST100 headset stand, and Logitech Z200 speakers. And now we get to the point of the voiceover where I'm wondering, like, are people even listening at this point? Do you guys just like skip through, just look at the photos and move on, not even paying attention to what I'm saying? Either way, we'll check out the PC now, right? The Corsair Carbide Spec Omega case, again in black and white. And the internals here look really nice. That sound creepy. Intel i7 8700K CPU with the Deepcool Captain 360X AIO, 16 gigs of Team T-Force Nighthawk RAM on the ASRock Z390 Extreme 4 motherboard, and an MSI GTX 1080 Armor GPU, custom white backplate. The white just glows and looks so clean inside, even with the RGB fans and that light ring around the AIO. What I'm also really digging is right next to that, she pretty much has like blackout blinds over that big window there, which she uses for a projector for playing some console gaming. You know, PS4 thrown up on there, eliminates all the light, and you could still game at a massive screen size. So Cathy, you guys all know I'm 110% digging this setup from the top to the bottom. Love the black and white look, love the ivy coming down, the nice moon wallpaper. This is what's up. Probably could have saved it for a clean and minimal edition, you know? But hey, I'm not that patient. Speaking of patience, how about that wait for Cyberpunk, huh? It's been how many years? Keep having to wait with delays. Either way, 31 Big Ben hitting us with the Cyberpunk setup. Blue and yellow, always an underrated color theme. 3 displays at the gaming setup, a massive TV, RGB, custom, you know, geometric wall prints. This is bonkers. So, for those 3 displays, Big Ben has a 34-inch Acer Predator as the primary, with 4K 27-inch LG monitors on the outside. And by the way, before I see comments telling me how I'm wrong, 34-inch ultra-wides have the same exact vertical height as a 27-inch non-ultra-wide display. Okay, so back to the goods. Again, an RGB light strip behind the L-shaped desk, IKEA desktop, IKEA Alex drawers. Let's dive into the peripherals. For audio, we have the Logitech G560 LightSync speakers on each side, contributing even more RGB. And then he switches brands because the rest of it is from Corsair, with the K68 RGB keyboard in blue, the Corsair Nightsword mouse, and the Corsair MM800 RGB Polaris mousepad, as well as his audio, the Corsair Void Elite RGB headset. The RGB headset stand makes an appearance for the, 3rd time here? And also, check out those light sticks. Those are also apparently from Corsair as well. I think they're brand new. I haven't heard of them, but they look pretty cool. They're called the LT100 Light Towers. All right, definitely fits in though, definitely. And if you guys are tired of me talking about Corsair, guess what? It continues into the Corsair Crystal 570X RGB case yet again. We have an Intel i7 9600K CPU, the Corsair H100i RGB Platinum AIO with 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB RAM, and then an EVGA RTX 2080 graphics card. But again, the blue and yellow color theme all on the inside with the fans, the light strip, the RAM, AIO, all matching, glowing very nicely out the crystal case. Looks phenomenal. And didn't even get to talk about the 65-inch LG 4K OLED TV there. I know when Cyberpunk comes out, Big Ben's gonna be pumped, and whether he's playing on the console, on the TV, or on the PC with the 3 monitors, it's gonna look awesome because this setup is awesome in every regard. Good stuff, man. And then last but not least, we have Borangel with a more simple and scaled back setup, but obviously a killer wall-mounted PC. Haven't seen too much of these recently. I felt like in every episode for like the first few months of 2020, every setup had a awesome looking wall-mounted PC, but it returns here yet again. For the single display here is Samsung 32-inch ultrawide, 144Hz. And then for the peripherals, going all white, which looks pretty sleek. We got the E-Element Z77 RGB keyboard with the Corsair M65 RGB Elite mouse and the Corsair Void RGB V1 headset. He made sure to clarify that V1 means it was like the first version. Then he stabs Corsair in the back and goes with the white Razer headset stand, but it has the RGB, it has the USB pass-through here, and again, it's gonna fit in more with the theme. But let's talk about that awesome wall-mounted PC here. Again, I always love seeing these. We have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU with a Corsair H100i RGB Platinum AIO, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, and an ASUS X570 Prime Pro motherboard. That's why it's white, it looks good. And the Gigabyte RTX 2060 Super GPU. But man, this is a very clean mounting job as well. Whatever sort of plate you use to, house all the components looks super nice. And yeah, good job on cable management as well. That often gets overlooked, but great job with that. And I'm digging the blue and white color theme. Very hard to do, but you found the peripherals and it all works out nicely. You even got a matching white canteen. And this episode of Room Tour Project is sponsored by the Elgato Wave 3, a gaming, streaming, desktop microphone that'll make your life a lot easier. I dropped a review on my channel, so definitely check that out as well for sound tests. It features the ability to monitor your mic through your headphones, a touch-sensitive mute button, input gain, mic and PC monitoring crossfade, headphone volume, all with the control knob, as well as the ability to digitally mix everything with their Wavelink software, which makes streaming a breeze. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description down below. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 219 of Room Tour Project. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget, if you saw anything you like in this episode, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out, as well as some very simple instructions on how to submit your setup if you want to be possibly considered in a future episode of Room Tour Project. Just check the description down below for it all. If you like this episode, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That'll do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. Stay classy, San Diego.